Thank you for this opportunity to be here this evening. A lifelong learning culture on P.E.I. will recognize, value, and celebrate learning, with sectors, communities, and educational institutions working together to provide learning opportunities for all islanders to improve their economic success and overall quality of life. In my presentation, I'll first be providing a framework that illustrates what lifelong learning really encompasses. Is it different than education per se? Followed by a specific view of P.E.I. and the 5 components that I see necessary to enhance and position P.E.I. as a learning province for the 21st century. So as we look at the framework, the green diamond represents formal learning in a formal setting, with early childhood, kindergarten, the public school years, and post-secondary. The red circle, however, presents lifelong learning, which is not only formal learning, but also our informal and our non-formal learning. Informal being that learning that takes place in everyday events and experiences, in anywhere places. And non-formal being more professional development, capacity learning, community organizational learning, usually non-credential type of learning. The lifelong learning journey is represented by a circle because it is a continuum. It takes place in the workplace, in the community, at home. It's always a continuous movement, from one learning event to another, one decade of life to another, never ending, never a means to an end. Learning is a journey. It has no set destination or time frame. It can and does happen anywhere if one is curious, inquisitive, and receptive. The framework also shows transitions occurring for the learner at different intersections of their life. In early childhood, when that learning is so important, and that's when we learn how to learn, and the influences of those relationships around that young infant. The next intersection is the school years, when the students need to learn those transferable skills and those new literacies of today, not just the reading, writing, and the numeracy, but the new literacies of financial literacy, technical and digital literacy, health, media. Those are the new literacies. The next transitional group would be those individuals who may not have finished high school, but even if they have finished high school, they're transitioning on to their next step in life. Those are so many decisions to make. So the early childhood and this post-school environment are the 2 biggest transitional and critical times in the learner's life. At that transitional time, also adult learners who may be oscillating between the labor world and a training environment, upgrading their education, they're also facing a number of barriers and challenges. And the last group of learners, of course, are the adults who have progressed in post-secondary education and have learned in the workplace. But they, again, must continue learning. And then also the seniors who must continue learning, as learning begets learning, and then the whole circle continues again. They are the role models for the next generations. So as we can see, lifelong learning includes all these forms of learning in the anywhere, any place, in the total continuum. And as we face the challenges that have been outlined as far as the 21st century, we certainly need more than just our formal training institutions for learning to take place. So let's transition then into the island and the 5 components that I see necessary for the future of lifelong learning. And that is, for P.E.I. to be a learning province, we need engagement. We need accessibility. We need transitional supports, collaborative learning delivery models, and policy perspectives. So as we look at each one of those, by engagement we need to develop in P.E.I. a learning culture learning everywhere, in organizations, businesses, in non-threatening environments. We need to promote and market learning, that it is the source. We also need to promote those early years when research has proven that that is most influential, the front-end loaded resources for those young people. Accessibility. Accessibility for the anytime, anywhere type of learning, for technology and new learning technologies and online access. We need to provide learning opportunities for all islanders, our newcomers, our seniors, our youth, employed, unemployed. The third component is our transitional supports, those two critical transition areas of early years to formal school and then the high school to post-secondary. Collaborative delivery models between all partnerships to increase the collaboration between educators, trainers, and employers, not-for-profit organizations, to provide flexible learning opportunities, and to provide learning opportunity amongst all the broad island sectors between the civic, public, voluntary, and education. And lastly, policy perspectives, to provide tax breaks, incentives, tuition waivers for islanders engaged in, be it non-formal or formal learning, and to increase those pathways between non-formal and formal, to provide opportunities for what we call PLAR, prior learning assessment recognition, to provide evidence, if an individual can provide evidence that they have particular learning from their experiences, that they are provided credit for that in the recognition of learning. More portability of credits. So I see with these 5 components for the island that we require those in order for Prince Edward Island to become a learning province and face the challenges of the 21st century. Thank you.